What's up, guys? So today's video is going to focus on the fitness myths that may be quietly keeping you from reaching your weight loss goal. If you are interested in what I have to say, please stick around and excuse all the little ramblings and the times that I go off subject. That's just my personality. Anyway, stick around. I think you're going to like what you hear. I am back. So today's video, I am going to be discussing fitness myths that are keeping you from reaching your goals. These myths have they also affected me before I hired my coach, and it kept me in a yo-yo situation, where you lose 10 pounds and you gain the 10 pounds back. We've all experienced that. You know exactly what I am referring to. So the first myth that we are going to discuss is if you are not losing weight, you are not working hard enough. And we hear that a lot, especially from a lot of fitness influencers. We see it on social media, Instagram, maybe here on YouTube as well. I don't do TikTok, so you rarely hear me refer to TikTok because it's just something I don't do. However, I'm sure you hear the same thing on TikTok and Snapchat. Is Snapchat still even a thing? But yes, if you're not losing weight, it's because you're not working hard enough, which is a lie. Because how many of you have gone through a period where you're working out 7 days a week, you're at the gym 2 hours, and you're eating below 1,200 calories? That's working hard. That's overworking. You're doing entirely too much, and you're still not getting the results that you want to see. So that particular myth, well, all the myths weigh on you mentally and physically. But to be told that you're not working hard and that's the reason why you're not losing weight, I mean, that would piss me, that makes me upset. I get upset when I think about how I used to believe I wasn't working hard enough. So here I am, I'm going to the gym 6 days a week. I'm doing an hour lifting weights and an hour of cardio. Now, if you've seen any of my earlier videos, you'll know that I tried eating 1,200 calories one time. No, I couldn't even make it through the day. I started feeling dizzy, like I was going to pass out. So for me, it was eating 1,500 calories a day and doing all that work and not seeing anything. I wish that people would stop implying or explicitly saying, you're not working hard enough. That's why you're not seeing results, especially when you are, doing all that work. The thing is, you don't need to work harder. You need to work more effectively. So you need to eat more than 1,200 calories and cut back on 7 days a week of training. You're just causing yourself stress. You're putting so much stress on your body, with eating the sub 1,200 calories in the 7 days working out, that the body is like, oh my God, what is going on here? I'm confused. I'm tired. I'm stressed out. My cortisol levels are sky high. I'm not budging. I'm not losing one single fat cell because this is just way too much. They're punishing me. So yes, that is a myth. And we all know that, but I just had to mention it anyway. Also, another thing with you're not working hard enough and that's why you're not losing weight. That makes it feel, when you believe that, it becomes a personal struggle. And that leads to myth number 2. Consistency is the only thing that matters. Now, I preach consistency all the time here on my channel. However, in the fitness industry, why can I say consistency? In the fitness industry, consistency is more related to going 100% all the time, no breaks. There is no room for a quote unquote slip up. And that is why I also stress the 80-20 rule. Because, as I always say, we are humans, okay? We're not going to be 100% every single day. That is impossible. And it only leads to frustration. And it also leads to you being angry with yourself. It also leads to you spending more money than you need to because you're buying all of the supplements, you're buying the you're buying the fitness influencers workout program. uh, and we're going to circle back to that also. That workout program that you bought from the fitness influencer, we're coming back to that. So you're angry at yourself because you're with consistency, the way that, the fitness industry, puts it out there, is that you need to be 100% every single day. There is no room for you to be a human being. That's basically it. Also, with the talk about being consistent, it doesn't leave room for unpredictable events. Just like a couple of weeks ago, there was the big snowstorm in the northern part of the United States. I'm here down here in Florida, so our winter really was like you guys' early spring. But you know, you, I lived in Maryland for 4 years, so I experienced a couple of snow days, and I had to shovel snow, which was fun for the one time that I had to do it. I wouldn't want to do it every year though. But when you have all that snow and you're snowed in, you can't get out there and do your walk or do your run or go to the gym. So, that being consistent, as the fitness industry puts it out there, is detrimental to your goal, because now you're feeling bad and you're feeling guilty because of this snowstorm that kept you in the house for, I don't know how long, 3-4 days, a week maybe. I was here in Florida, so I just hope that you guys, everyone, made it out safe. But yeah, so myth number 2 is that you have to be consistent 100% of the time, which is, you can't do that. You're a human being, okay? You are going to be consistent because you are going to use the 80-20 rule. You're not going to be working out 7 days a week. You're not going to be eating less than 1,200 calories. You're going to work out 4 days a week, and you're going to eat at least a minimum of 1,500 calories. Now, there are some cases where people have to eat 1,200 calories, but for the most part, 1,500 calories minimum. When you're struggling with the fitness industry's definition of consistency, then that just leaves you to blame yourself. And like I said before, that's just more stress added to this goal that you're trying to achieve. And it leads to the next myth number 3. And that is calories in versus calories out. That is an oversimplified way of looking at weight loss. Weight loss is more than calories in versus calories out. And as a woman in her mid-50s, I can tell you, those of you who are in your 40s and up, you already know that is definitely not a matter of calories in versus calories out. Our bodies are constantly changing. Our hormones are in fluctuation. We're going through that time of life, menopause, perimenopause. It doesn't take into account, stress. Stress also hampers your weight loss goals. Like I said before, mentioning hormonal levels and stress levels and our environment. Um, the calories in versus calories out just doesn't take all of that into consideration. If it was as simple as how many, how many calories you're taking in and what you're doing to burn those calories, when you are eating 1,200 calories or less than 1,200 calories and you're working out 7 days a week, you would be at the weight that you want to be at if it was as simple as calories in versus calories out. But like I said before, we have to take in consideration our lifestyle. If you're sitting at a desk for 8 hours a day, as opposed to if you're a nurse and you're on your feet for 12 hours a day, that makes a difference. Our age, I mentioned perimenopause and menopause. Our hormones definitely play a factor in how we lose weight and how easier, how difficult it is or how easier it can be to lose weight. Medical conditions. If you have an issue with your thyroid, either you're depending on, which side of the issue you are with your thyroid, you're either losing weight and you're not trying to lose weight, or you're gaining weight and you're doing everything possible to lose weight. So it's not as simple as calories in versus calories out. You're a human being. You got to take in consideration the whole human body as well as the environment. Okay? Which leads to myth number 4. So when the calories in versus calories out doesn't work, then the blame, instead of it being on the fitness industry, it's placed on your character, which leads us to myth number 4. And that is, you need to be more disciplined. Now, I've done a video on motivation versus discipline. And that is done in a different context than how the fitness industry states you need more discipline. With the fitness industry, discipline is in the form of, and I am prior military, I was in the Air Force. So with the fitness industry, that word discipline is more in line with a drill sergeant screaming at you, in basic training or boot camp, so that you can become a more disciplined, in my case, an airman, other people, soldier, Marine, seaman, I don't know. But yeah, so in the fitness industry, when that fitness influencer tells you that you need more discipline, basically what they are telling you is you need to be perfect. And I cannot stress this enough. I'm going to say this every time I talk about weight loss. I am going to stress that you are a human being, and nothing is perfect, and no one is ever going to be 100%. If you find someone that's out there that is, 100% with their weight loss goal, they're either one, doing a bodybuilding show, yes. I did one. I had to be 100% perfect because of, what's required to get on a bodybuilding stage. But if a person is not doing a bodybuilding show, that person probably has an eating disorder. And you don't want that. You do not want that. As I've said before, you want to be able to enjoy a night out with your husband, with your wife, with your significant other. You want to enjoy your kids' birthdays, your own birthday. You want to enjoy the holidays without feeling guilty. So when that fitness influencer or that commercial that's trying to sell you a supplement to make you more disciplined, ignore them. Please ignore them. They only want your money. The fitness industry is $1 billion industry. And it does not really care. You know, I can go on a whole rant about the fitness industry, and one day I will, but not today. We're just going to stick with the myths. And what you need to know is that it's $1 billion industry because you are not disciplined in, and you're trying to lose your weight and reach your goal. The fitness industry gets to stay invisible while the blame of you not reaching your goal is shifted onto you. Now, I don't think that's fair. And it leads to myth number 5. Fitness advice is for everyone. That's a huge myth. That As I have said throughout this video, we are all different. We all have different lifestyles. We all live in different environments. I'm here in Florida. It is sunny, 340 days out of the year. When I was in Maryland, oh my gosh, those winter months, that is when I learned about seasonal depression. Yeah. So there are so many factors because we are all different. Like I mentioned before, those of us who are menopausal, all right, we're menopause. We no longer have a period. Those who are perimenopause, that right there, fitness advice is not for everyone. Like when people buy, I don't know, like in the 80s and the 90s, what was it? The South Beach Body, Atkins. Well, today it's the Herbalife and the Beach Body. Those things are sold to people as if everyone is the same. And that's not true. You know that's not true. So I don't want to make anyone feel guilty for listening to influencers or experts who, give advice about how to lose weight. But one thing I would tell you, I did not see results until I hired my coach. And I know that is coming from a place of privilege. I know that. And that's why I want to be careful with how I approach myth number 5, because not everyone has the means to hire a coach. And then not everyone has, the ability to know if the person that they're considering hiring is knowledgeable enough about fitness and exercise to be an effective coach for them. So you have to take what the influencers and even the experts, what they say, the advice that they give about losing weight. You have to take that. It's very difficult because if you're not knowledgeable on your own about losing weight, then it's hard to weed out the BS. So it will be a learning experience, a trial and error in trying to reach your goal. But just know that advice, especially a lot of the fitness influencers, I hope that no one who's in their 40s and 50s, I hope you guys are not listening to people in their 20s, okay? Because a 20-year-old body is so different from a 40 plus body, okay? So I want to leave you guys with hope. I don't want you all to think that all is lost, because it's not. And what I'll do is I will leave links below to people who I trust. There's one particular person who I found my coach through. I was watching his YouTube videos, and the person who coached him for his first bodybuilding show, I started following that person back in 2012. And I don't know if some of you may remember bodybuilding.com, but I started following him, and that's how I found the other person. And then that's how I got connected with my coach. And it's been 5 years. I started my weight loss journey in September 2000. So over 5 years, we're coming up to 6. And a coach they get to know your body. So when they make their programs for you, it is specifically for you. So that is it for today. I hope that you all got something out of it. I probably rambled and rambled and rambled and rambled. Sorry about that. But you all have a great day, evening, or whatever time you're watching this video. And subscribe and hit the like button. Thank you.